Great day, great day. And thank you so much for joining me for Lunchtime Love in Selflessly Selfish, our women's group on Facebook, as well as we're doing a little crossover. NewPeace Radio, we are broadcasting live as well. And so if you are listening in either place, as well as YouTube, because we do broadcast simultaneously NewPeace Radio at mynewpeace.com, as well as on YouTube at mynewpeace or Natasha L. Brown. You can do a search either way, or you can use the links in the comment section, depending on where you see this broadcast. So, want to start off with our disclaimer, as we always do, just to make sure that we are making sure you understand the purpose of our broadcast. This is an informational session. I am not a medical professional. I am a healing evangelist and holistic advocate. And with the broadcast, we use this to assist you in starting and maintaining your holistic journey in the right direction. So always seek out medical attention from your primary care physician. And if you have an emergency, remember to dial 911. So this week, and let me introduce myself for those that don't know me, because we're not just in the group. For Lunchtime Love, we are broadcasting on the radio show, NewPeace Radio, as well as on YouTube. So I am Natasha L. Brown, moderator of Selflessly Selfish on Facebook. It's a women's group, as well as I am a healing evangelist, and I've written 4 books. Self-empowerment books, Divine Direction, The Heart and Mind That Loves God, the Now Proverbs 31 Woman, and An Effective Guide to a Wellness Program. All 4 of those books are to help you, as well as this broadcast, to go in the right direction when it comes to being in a holistic standing. So if you are joining me, definitely let me know, make a comment, just say hello. If you have any questions, you can put those in as well. And we are going to be talking about the effects of stress on the body. And I don't think we really think about it as much as we probably should or could, to find out what the root cause is of anything that's going on in our body. Many times we just accept what's going on in our body as it has to be, and we move on. But that is not true in any form of the matter. When we have illness in the body, there are many things that we need to take into consideration so that we can know what exactly is going on in our body. And many times we don't think about that. So the first thought you have when you do not feel well is what? Do you think about, what did I eat? Did I get enough rest last night? Am I hydrated? Whatever you may need to do in order to make sure that you get what is needed. Hello, Paula. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies, definitely, if you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and put those in the comment section in the group. And if you are listening live on the radio, definitely at NewPeace Radio, you can dial in at the number. If you have a question and you want to call in and ask it, you can definitely do that. But we want to deal with signs and symptoms of the body and how our emotion plays a large part in that, because many times we do not consider that as something to look at, and it does play a large role. And with this being geared toward women, we're going to deal more so with women's issues, but there is many illness and dis-ease that happen in the body that have emotional components behind them. So as we work on those emotional components, it makes for healing, it makes for wholeness, and it puts us in a better state. First area we want to deal with, many women have issues with the abdominal area. So, we have a harder time losing weight in the abdominal area, just depending on what we're doing and how we're doing it. If we're not consistent in exercising and the way we're eating, we're going to have an issue. But there may be some other things that are contributing to that as well. So one of the things that we want to start off with is with the abdominal area. It is dealing with incorrect use of judgment, your wisdom area, right? It also identifies with possession and has little sense of self. So Are you into self-love? Are you into making sure that you're taking care of yourself? Are you conscious of how you are allowing others to handle you and interact with you? Feelings possessive of someone, you're feeling possessive of someone else, worrying about others' needs, introspective to change yourself, feels responsible for giving understanding, help, and encouragement. So if you are always taking care of others and never taking care of yourself, feeling undue tension, fear, and anxiety, which constricts the energy flow, disharmony and bondage in a relationship, bound up in present fears and not feeling that you can trust the person that you're in a relationship with. And these are not just romantic relationships. These can be any relationships that you are not feeling fulfilled or you're not feeling free in. So definitely take that in consideration. And that was the abdominal area. And if any of these areas touch bases with you and you need more information on them, definitely you can reach out to me if you're in the group, or you can inbox me on any of the social media platforms and just let me know that you're wanting to know more about the whatever illness or disease that we touch on. The next one we want to deal with, because it is a major one, especially now during this time, anxiety. You feel unable to call the shots in life, so you're feeling out of control. You feel boxed in. Again, some of the same things, and you're going to have some overlaps. You feel helpless to affect a change. And what is so interesting about that is that you don't feel that you have control over your world. And that is a large one that many women deal with, especially when it comes to just in general doing what it takes to be yourself and making sure that you are in control of your world. Also, another one, and not just for women, this is a major one for many people, back problems. Feeling no support is a major one when you have back issues. You can't cope with emotional difficulties. You're feeling burdened emotionally, feelings of frustration, wanting someone to get off your back, literally. And you'd be surprised that many of the issues that we deal with, a lot of these are very literal. You want someone to get off your back. Maybe you have, usually it's the first thought is going to be a work issue where your boss is constantly riding you, is the term that they use, but it's someone that is literally creating an issue in your tissues in the back area. And then just depending on whether it's the upper back, middle back, lower back, you can go into more detail and depth as to what the signs and symptoms are, and we won't get into that. Bloating is another one for women. So if you're having an issue with bloating, you definitely want to make sure that you keep in mind the emotional component will be feeling stuck in your life situation, unable to change what you don't like, or have to live with what you don't like, right? Unable to express your true feelings, you have to swallow them and just take it as it is. And, you know, if you've ever been in that particular situation, that is not a good feeling, is definitely restrictive. And many of these have been saying the same thing. And these are issues that women are dealing with on a regular basis. You know, what is amazing to me is we are interacting with people on a daily basis. They are hurting and not able to express what they're feeling because of the judgment, because of maybe the way that they're being talked to. They may be in a situation with someone that they thought they could trust. That trust has been broken and they don't know how to get out of that particular situation, or they're in what has become a toxic relationship. So many of us are interacting with people that are screaming out for help but can't get the help that they need. So definitely be sensitive when you are interacting with people, and make sure that you keep in mind that, you know, if you were in that situation, what would you want someone to say to you? Or if you just need someone to listen. And a lot of times that's all it is. So we've done a few of those. And if you're just joining us from NewPeace Radio or in the group, definitely you want to just say hello or make a comment. You are more than welcome to do that so that I can know that you are there, as well as if you are listening to My New Peace Radio at mynewpeace.com, definitely go ahead and let us know what is going on in the body, and I can go over that particular emotional component for you, as well as if you're watching us in the replay, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post that also. I am Natasha L. Brown, and we are doing a crossover show for today's segment. We're dealing with women's issues as far as the emotional component and how they express themselves through illness. So definitely we have covered a few. We've done the abdominal area, anxiety, back problems, bloating, and we have a few other ones. Let's see. To lose weight, trying to exercise, just reading a comment here. Okay, and so Paula, we can definitely, if you want to inbox me, we can definitely go through that so that you won't have to talk about everything out in the open, because there's always things that can be done. There are always situations and circumstances where you are feeling trapped, but you are more than capable to get out of them. God has never put us in a situation without a way of escape. So definitely the body is fearfully and wonderfully created. So what is going on with you right now is not something that has to be lifelong. There are many things that you can do. And I am not sure if you want this comment to stay public. So I will hide that second comment that you made so that I can get back with you on it, and so that everyone will not see. No need to be sorry. Definitely, we want you to interact and conversate. And we'll get together outside of the broadcast, definitely. All right, so the next one we're going to do is bowels. A lot of women I deal with, and bowels and constipation, we're going to deal with two separate things. But if you're having issues with your bowels, there is a fear of displeasing a loved one, fear of releasing the old that is no longer useful. And you know what is amazing to me, and I'll say that when I get to constipation, fearful of not having ample means, unable to control outer situations, unwillingness to relinquish control because you're holding on to everything. And the bowels are so toxic, you want to make sure that you're allowing those to flow. Inability to eliminate possessive attitudes. A lot of this has to do with possession. So definitely keep that in mind when you are dealing with certain things, because of the simple fact that you don't want to get into a place of constipation, because constipation, and I suffer from constipation for years, it is definitely not a good place to be in, because it messes with every system in the body when you are not properly eliminating. So constipation is another one. And with constipation, just like with the bowel issue, it was talking about holding on to things. And many adults use the excuse of not wanting to go to the bathroom in public is the reason why they have the constipation issues. But you're training your body to basically stop, to lock up, to stay still, to not go forward, to not do what needs to be done. So definitely keep that in mind when you are not allowing your bowels to flow freely. And if you're not giving your body what it needs because of fear of having a bowel movement in public or otherwise, then definitely that is something you need to deal with. Constipation, constantly frustrated, unwilling to release old feelings and beliefs, resisting the flow of life. You're not letting that life go. Blocking what you want to say, feelings of anxiety, unresolvable problems, determined to carry on. You see no way out, so you are not letting out what you need to be letting out. And what is very interesting is the fact that you don't want to get into a place where you are so rigid and locked down that you become impacted and you have to go to the hospital, and you basically will have to have surgery. When I worked in the hospital, there was a patient there that had an impaction. They were prepping them for surgery, and the person died because they were so impacted. They had a rupture. So definitely you don't want to get it to that place. And I always say, you know, when the body begins to whisper, listen, what is it that you can do to your body and for your body to help your body move forward in the proper direction? What is it that you can do before you have to get to the medical situation or a medical state? There's food that you can eat. There are things that you can drink, and not just those detox teas. There are many things you can drink on a regular basis. If we are properly hydrating our body and eating in season and eating what's good for our body personally, so you need to know your body type in order to make sure you are where you need to be. Then what will begin to happen is your body will begin to operate appropriately. Your body will begin to operate as the whole body as God created it to. These bodies were designed to be self-healing machines. Whatever is going on in the body, whatever is needed, there is something for you in the earth to help with that. So the next area we want to deal with are the breast. And this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So definitely want to deal with the breast. Emotional components, conflict of worthiness, denying individual worth, feels conflict in nurturing ability, and not nurturing yourself. And want to just give a disclaimer. These are just emotional components. This is not saying this is the only thing that could be going on when you get a particular diagnosis or when you are feeling sick or ill. But still, I want you to keep these things in mind, because some things we create more so with our emotions, with our thoughts than anything. So definitely keep in mind these emotional components, work through them, and watch your body respond appropriately. The next area we want to deal with, and we're dealing with stress on the body. So when your body is in stress, the body gives out signs and symptoms, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, whatever is going on, the body always gives you a warning before it becomes a disease in the body. So we definitely want ease in the body. We don't want to get to a place of dis-ease. All right. And so our next one would be candida. So we've dealt with several different areas in the body, and we want to make sure that we are basically healthy. That's how the body was created to be. The body was created to be whole. I wish above all things, he was not saying that because of the simple fact that you are supposed to be whole in one area. The entire body, your temple will be whole. And that you'll be whole, not just spiritually. It's not just a religious thing and not just a spiritual thing, but your entire being will come together and align the way that God has created to be, so that you can receive and experience the abundant life. Candida would be another one. Begins with doubting yourself, resentment multiplying inside, inability to claim one's own power, unresolved negative feelings molding in the body, continually blaming others on a subconscious level. You may not have to say it out loud, but subconsciously you are blaming others. So definitely keep that one in mind. There are a few others that I'm not going to necessarily go into, but definitely want to deal with depression is another one we want to deal with. Let's see, feeling I'll never be able to be enough or do enough, feeling it's no use, feeling things are beyond my control, feeling hopeless, helpless, feeling like quitting or giving up on life, anger turned inward, insufficient exposure to sunlight. And usually this is going to take place more in your cooler months, depending on where you live. But depression, you are actually depressing your true self. You're not able to be who you are. You're not able to go where you need to go. You're not able to do what it is that you need to do. And so these are definitely areas that you need to make sure that you, and this is the kind of stuff that I work with my clients on. Holistically, we don't just deal with one area. Yes, I want to know what your holistic goal is, your wellness goal, but how did you get there? And how can we keep you from going there? That's why diets, DIE, diets do not work, because you are dying to a particular thing for a temporary amount of time. But then when you go back to your regular lifestyle, you're going back to your old ways. So holistically, you want to find out what we need to do in order to modify what you've been doing that has not been working, and incorporate productive habits that will begin to work for you. Also, energy, a lack of energy. Many women may be feeling a lack of energy for whatever reason, especially if there's a lot of stress going on in the body, but unresolved, deep-seated sadness, tired of the day-to-day struggle. So you're stuck in a rut, wishing you could quit. And many of these are saying wishing you could quit. So we definitely, again, there are many people sitting right in front of you that are hurting. So you have to begin to listen, not just with your ears, but pay attention to that person. Are they acting differently? Are they experiencing speaking differently? So we have to learn how to become compassionate. We have to learn how to move forward and do what we need to do in order to show the compassion, just like Christ moved with compassion, because he knew what that person was going through. He knew what that person had felt. He was able to reach out to that person without judgment, but to move with love. All right. So that one was the lack of energy. Female problems in general. Emotional block where your own sexuality is concerned, feeling inadequate in sexual role, feelings of fear or guilt about sex, refusing to let go of the past, rejecting feminine nature, emotional block where mate is concerned. So again, not knowing and not being aware of, or just consciously wanting to move forward, it makes a major difference when we have someone we can speak to openly, when that person is a good listener, when that person is willing to hear us, even when we are not saying what it is that we need to say. We may not even be able to express it. You are able to speak freely and be yourself so that you can live the life that you are designed to live. And that way you can operate in your purpose fully. It makes a big difference when you can do that, right? So again, this is My New Peace Radio. We're doing a crossover segment with Lunchtime Love in the Selflessly Selfish Women's Group. It's a private group in Facebook, but you can definitely do a search and join us. I am the moderator for the group, Natasha L. Brown, as well as a healing evangelist with New Peace Wellness. And we are here every Tuesday at noon in the group for Lunchtime Love. And usually it is something that's private. It's not something that we share. But this one was so good that I wanted to let My New Peace Radio family hear it as well. So definitely these are more geared to women. But if you have other illnesses or dis-ease in the body, let me know and we can go over that. You can inbox me and we can deal with it. So those are just some general female problems, but fibroid tumors and cysts. The ego has been injured, unexpressed and unresolved hurts. Also, fibroids usually affect women that do not have children because they're filling that void, but they affect African-American women. And I have come in contact with a young lady that we'll have on over the next several weeks for Lunchtime Love in the private group on Facebook, where she will begin to share some things you can do to help with those particular signs and symptoms. You would be amazed at what we are doing to ourselves, not intentionally, what we're doing to ourselves that is making a big difference with those particular diagnoses, with the fibroids, with heavy bleeding, with having cramps, many things that we're doing that's interrupting the natural flow of our body and of our life as women. So definitely we want to make sure we are paying attention to those things so that we can get to a point of healing. Since we are there with the female issues and fibroids, cramps, fear of pain, holding on to incorrect perceptions of femininity, tension buildup, feelings of guilt about what you have or haven't done. And again, there are many things that we can do throughout the month so that we do not have to experience any of these things, because it's not something that has to be natural. You know, that's just like I did a show on aging a couple of weeks ago. There are a lot of myths that we are told because other women have experienced them. We think that we have to experience them as well. And it's not true. Many things that we experience because we are following along the same habits that the women that experience those things followed along in. Menopause is another one. Fears this time of life and getting older. Fears being rejected, feeling useless. Hot flashes could come from false belief that they can't be avoided. See, I just said that. Myths. Anger at not having control of your own body. So many situations we are in, we do not have to be in. We can move forward and do what we need to do. Menstrual problems, unresolved feelings of guilt, fears role as a woman, feels no joy in being a woman. So those are just a few things. And there are a couple other, we won't go over all of them. But again, if there are any questions or particular areas that you want to discuss, definitely contact me and let me know. We can work through those things with you and for you. But what I want you to definitely keep in mind is that God is the creator of your body, of our bodies. He created the body. So if we would just take time to listen to what the body is saying, the body would let us know what it needs and how to resolve any illness or disease in the body. So it's very vital that we do what it takes in order to maintain holistic health and happiness in our bodies. So what we want to do is I decree and declare that your body will begin to align. And as you hear the whispers of God begin to speak to you, you will move those things that he's telling you to stop eating, to stop taking into your body, whether it's food or drink, those people, places, or things that have become toxic to you that are creating illness in the body, that you begin to listen, that you hear as God speaks through you into you. As you begin to move forward and realize, acknowledge that your body is fearfully and wonderfully created, that God can just send a word and bring about healing. But what are you going to do to maintain that healing once it comes? So, God, we thank you for the wisdom to maintain our bodies, these self-healing machines that you have created. We are willing to do what it takes. We are willing to eat. We are willing to work out. We are willing to hydrate. We are willing to get restful sleep. We are willing to be selflessly selfish and love ourselves to wholeness. So, Lord, we give you praise for what you've already done in our bodies and what you are going to do in our bodies. We thank you that we don't have to wait until January, but New Year's begins now as we begin to allow our bodies to heal and to become whole. So, Lord, we thank you for the wisdom to align with you, the Creator, and how you have created our bodies. And we give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen. So I am Natasha L. Brown, healing evangelist and moderator for Selflessly Selfish private Facebook group for women, as well as the host of My NewPeace Radio. And remember, I love you. Self-love, self-compassion, and wholeness are your superpowers. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to next week's Lunchtime Love, as well as My NewPeace Radio. We broadcast each Tuesday as well. So on behalf of everybody, we thank you. Have a great week.